Hi everyone, welcome to Cat's Creations, where I'm going live from my personal page because we're still working out the technical issues that once again Facebook's updated something and it's just not talking to the compatible software that I'm using, but I can still go live from my personal page. So I'm going to be sharing this right now to my business page. Once we get everything up and running, give me just 1 second. Here we go. Let me go ahead and hit share. Actually, I have to edit my privacy, make it public, even though I've done this a million zillion times. To a page. Give me just 1 second, and we're just about there. I think. Let me just put, let's go live. What a workaround. And let's post that, and let's hope that we're going live. So, working on it, right? Technology, I think it's going to keep us young or it's going to kill us. So, we are making this gorgeous, going to teach you how to make a new wreath. Let me make sure that I can pull up comments. Let me make sure that I can pull up. There we go. Okay. So this is how it's going to rock and roll and make sure that we're all good. Actually, I should probably make sure that we're live and sharing it on our other page as well. Give me just 1 second. Oh, okay. Anytime you want to minimize. Give me 1 moment. I just want to make sure it's posting to the business page as well. And let's pin this to the top so everyone can see. Okay, go ahead. Waiting for everything to update. It's so slow. Pin to the top. Okay, I think we should begin. All right, so we are going to be making a new grapevine wreath, and this is I thought we would do something a little bit more like a spring floral design. So I'm going to pivot you down and show you everything that we're working with today. So if I can get your guys' prayers, let's pray that we can get the live thing worked out. So we should be back on schedule, not going through my personal page to the business page, but we'll be going live from our business page. Prayers that we can make that happen. So I'm going to pivot you down. Hang on 1 moment. We're going to pivot you straight down, and I want to make sure we are even. So I'm using an 18-inch grapevine. I have already cleaned this with a butter knife, wire cutters, whatever, just to remove all the excess pieces. Like I try not to take too many of the little curly cues because I kind of feel like that's where the character of a grapevine is present. But here's the sign we're going to be using. So this is a new one that just came out from Pam. I just ordered this. So this is our sign for today. We're using this local honey. I'm trying to get rid of the glare. It says lemon zest local honey, 100% organic, fresh, raw, pure, quality guaranteed. And I like the fact that it isn't so much bee, like it doesn't have like, it's not a bee sign, but it is, we can incorporate this for an everyday wreath, whether you want to use lemons, whether you would just rather keep it like an everyday wreath, or if you want to incorporate some bees, you can go ahead and add those in as well. It has a little bit of black, so you can definitely, you know, make that one work towards your advantage or not. It's entirely up to you. And we're going to just flip this around just like so. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to attach my sign to the wreath. And so I'm going to use the edge right here of our circle. I'm going to pull this around, and we're going to go ahead and add holes to the center, a little off center to the top and bottom so that we're hitting our grapevine. And then also I'm going to be making sure that we tag one here, because if we just put floral wire here, it'll tilt our sign down, so we need some stability to bring that back up and make it even again. Okay, so there is that. Hi, Mike. Right? Yeah, it's the Chinese 5G spy balloon. Who knows? At this stage of the game, I'm just up in the air. I'm just winging it and going with it. So, let's go ahead and attach our sign. I'm going to get my floral wire and my Beadsmith metal hole punch from my little handy dandy toolkit. This one should go fairly easy, and I think you'll like how easy the floral design comes out. So look at where you're going to need to hit. You know, I'm going to need to put one right here on the end, probably right up, probably by my Z, and probably right down in here. We should be fine. So we're going to go ahead and punch holes in our sign in those 3 places, because remember, our side is just to stabilize the top and the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to take my 22 gauge floral wire, flip this over on the back. We've got a couple things to do here. I did plug my glue gun in to get that one up and functioning. I have my glue skillet because I knew we were going to be dealing with florals. So let's cut 3 pieces of our wire. So this way it's going to go through our grapevine and secure the sign. And I'm doing this from a beginner's perspective. So I want you to see this like a beginner would create a floral wreath. So let me grab my glue gun and get this one plugged in, so that all we need it for is just to attach our sign or attach our little business card to the back. But using our floral wire, we're going to build from the back. So that just means put your floral wire in, make sure it's even, and build over the back of the hole. So right over that hole, you're going to twist about 5 times to give yourself probably, it's about a 1/4 inch base. And then we're going to do this right in here for our side piece. Just like so. There's 2. Okay, and then we're going to do the same at the bottom. Just, I guess this is the top, not the bottom. Feels like the bottom when I'm looking at it. Okay, so now we are going to attach this to our wreath. I'm not going to do the side one first. I'm going to do the top and the bottom, but I do need to make sure that my side is in alignment so that it will be able to go through my wreath. So I'm going to, and this is where having that grapevine already pre-cleaned just makes everything so much nicer. Going to kind of line this up where I want it to fall. And I want to make sure as I'm fishing my floral wire through that I've bitten off a pretty good chunk, meaning there's a big gap between where I'm going to be fastening that onto my wreath. So I really want to pull that down nice and snug. I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to wrap this really nice. And I'm just going to tuck this out of the way until we get the other ones done. This is going to, again, line up with our side, but we need it to go in. Grab a big bite-sized piece of that grapevine. Just make sure. Trying to make sure we get it straight inside. Whoop. It just wants to bend it doesn't want to go straight through. This one did. Now let's make sure this lines up. That should have been easy because I can physically see where it's going to line up. And that's perfect. So again, laying that flat. Give it some solid twists, just like so. Okay, we're going to take this and lay that flat. And now, see like how right now it's wanting to divot in because all we've done is secured top and bottom. Once I take this and secure this down, it's going to raise the center. So now, we're going to go down and do the same thing. Bite off a pretty good sizable chunk of our grapevine so we can have some leverage. I'm going to flip it back over and really make sure I've got that on there nice and secure. And then I'll flip it over and show you. Just like so. So now our sign is all secure to our grapevine, and now we're ready to start adding some floral to this design. Okay, but before we do that, because this is beginners, right? With a beginner, a lot of times what I had shown you in the past is, you know, go down, you know, lay in your floral, leave a space for where your bow's going to go. When you're starting off as a beginner, a lot of times we don't know where our bow is going to go. How wide is that going to be? Are we going to use up all of our florals and not have any room for that? So what we're going to do is we're going to add our bow first, and then we're going to build our floral around it. From a beginner's perspective, that's the easiest way to manage that. So let me show you the ribbon that I have picked out for this design for today. So we are going to go with a lemon slice on blue, because we have that blue trend that's going around our sign. So we're doing blue, or lemons on blue. We're also going to, and this is 2.5 inch from Craft Outlet. We're also going to be doing lemons on a gingham plaid. This is also from Craft Outlet, 2.5 inch. We are going to be adding a solid blue and a solid yellow, because sometimes we forget how much those can impact a design. And then we're also going to add, let me look at my list to make sure I've got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was thinking about adding this one, but let me look. Oh, we're adding lemons on white. So we're also going to take this one. So we're going to do 2 2.5, 1.5 inch, and 3 1.5 inches. So we're not doing a full 6 ribbon bow. We're doing these colors plus the 2.5 inch. And these ones are actually off the roll because it was easier to store a bunch of these on what's called these flat ribbon hangers. You can get them. They're made out of really thin wood, and you just wrap your ribbon, which was so nice for when we moved. And I just put my SKU numbers on the outside so I know where they came from. So we're going to start with the blue on the bottom. I'm going to use my bow dabber for the bow. I am going to need to come back and look at my grapevine to figure out how long do I want my tails to be at the longest. Okay, so I'm thinking right about here would be a good size tail if I put my ribbon in the center of my sign. So let's look at this and figure out, this is 8 inches, so we're going to go with 8 inches. We're going to dovetail our edges first, so we're going to fold it in half. We're going to cut from the folded side to the wired point. So just like so, and then we have a beautiful dovetail edge. Okay, so 8 inches, pull my tape off of here. 8 inches was our longest. I'm going to go 8.5. So I'm going to pinch it in. On my bow dabber, I'm going to twist and place it on the inside. Now, since this ribbon is printed on the outside, it makes it a little challenging to get it to lay flat. So I'm going to go ahead and do this as well. And I'm going to go with a 5-inch loop. I'm going to bring that in quite a bit. So by keeping my bow dabra straight on this 10-inch line and stretching this out, I can make sure right where 10 inches is. Then I can go up and over, twist, place it on the inside, remeasure this one, and get that right at the 5-inch line. And then we're going out to 8.5 inches. And then we're going to dovetail the edge. Just like so. Okay. That one is all down and ready to go. Now we are going to use our white with the lemons on it. This one we're going to go with a solid 8 inches for this. We're going to stretch this out 8 inches in. We're going to twist, place it right on the inside, go up and over, and this time we're going to go with a 4.5-inch loop. So make sure you line it up, stretch it out, make sure your measurements are precise. We're going to go up and around again. Make sure measurements are where they need to be. And then back out to 8 inches. Just like so. Okay. There is that one. Flipping this one around. Now we are going to pair the blue. We're going to try to keep this lemon to the outside so that it makes for a really dramatic look. So I'm taking my solid 1.5 inches. We're going to dovetail. Okay. This time we're going to go 7.5 inches. Because remember, we're going smaller. And I'm going to do the same width for my ribbon. I'm going to go 4.5 inches here. So, because we have our 2.5-inch lemon one, I don't have to really measure. There we go. We just need to make sure they're the same. Just like so. And we are 7.5 inches out. Flip this up. Okay, there is that one. At this stage of the game, the ribbon holder is bigger than the amount of ribbon that's on here, so that's taking up a considerable amount of space. What you can do is you can either pull the sides off, because look how much space that's taking up on my ribbon rack, or you can cut it down. Okay, let's get our yellow in here. Hi Gail, how are you? Hi Pam. If you guys can you click the share button on this and get this sharing, which is a really great place to place it if you are thinking you want to replicate this design later. So we're going to do, we did 4.5, we're going to go 4 on this one. So let's get that in. Go up and around. Try to get 4 inches on this side. Okay, and then back out to 7 inches. Dovetail our end. Okay. There's that one. Last one. This is our really pretty gingham with our lemons. Dovetail the edge. Just like so. All right. Now we are going to go 6.5 inches. I've never gone that low. Unless I've like eyeballed it for like a really short bow. So we're going to go 6.5 inches for our tail and 3.5 inches for our loop. So we're trying to get 3.5. There we go. Up and over. Let's try to get that to 3.5. That's like actually closer to 4. And then 6.5 inches, and our bow is done. We're just going to fluff it on the grapevine because we need to make sure it sits where we want it to sit on our design. There's that. Okay, let us grab a pipe cleaner, which we need royal blue. That would make for a really pretty royal blue or yellow. Now I'm going to take one of each. Probably the yellow would be the least intrusive to our design. So I'm going to pick up our stack. We are going to drop this down in the center, hold, and twist. Okay, just like that. And we're going to fluff on our design. So let's bring our design on back. And we are going to do this right across from our sign. So what I want to do is take and feed this down through our grapevine, out the other side. I'm listening to the dogs barking next door. Okay, so right about there. I'm just going to take and flip this over so I can secure my ribbon on. I'm just going to do that lightly in case we need to flip this over. But since I'm right here, let me go ahead and add my business card to the bottom of our sign. Should a customer want to order another one, and a lot of times they don't remember who they purchased it from. Let's see. Trying to remember which way we did this. Needs to go this way. So I'm going to add my business card right over the top. Flip this back over and let's fluff our bow. So we are going to pull all of our ribbon tails down. First of all, separate all those and get them all down. Just like so. And then I'm going to fluff from the top. We'll do the bottom. Let's do the bottom. So I'm going to go with the 2.5 inches, and I'm going to do opposites. So on the opposite side, I'm not going to do the blue on the top. I'll do the yellow on top, completely opposite. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with our ribbon here. Same theory. We go opposites. And then I'm going to let that gorgeous gingham just kind of take center stage right over the top. And then I'm not going to worry about filling in here because this is where our floral is going to go. And then you can just use your fingers and add the little curls back into the ribbon as we go through our wreath. And look how beautiful that looks. And we haven't even really added the floral yet, right? So let's add our floral. We're going to go ahead and start with that. I'm going to remove my glue gun so it is out of camera angle. And we're going to go ahead and lay in our florals. Now I have two different types. I have these that are cornflowers. These are from Michaels. You know me and Michaels Florals. I am a big fan of Michaels Florals. It's the right color palette for this design, so this is why we are using them. And then we're also going to use this lemon pick that is from the Greenery Market. So Greenery Market you have to be a wholesaler from, but it comes with all of your greenery, so it has all of your lemon blossom blooms. It has our lemons. So we are just going to be stripping this down into usable pieces for us. So just like that, don't be afraid, you know, to pull your greeneries apart to get them down into more manageable chunks that you need to work. So there's all of that. We will remove the last ones here. So let's just go ahead, snip this off. There's that one, and our final pick right up at the top, just like so. All right, so let's go ahead and lay in our greenery from here. We want to make sure that we have even distribution, but I like my wreaths a little heavier at the bottom. So we're going to start with our greenery here, and I'm just dipping it into my glue skillet. We're going to slide this in to our grapevine, and we're going to start to add in our greenery. Sometimes you don't need quite so much greenery, so we want to make sure that all the colors are equally represented. I'm going to tuck this one a little bit further up into our ribbon, and I like some of my greenery to be facing in the direction I like. And it may just be, you know, based on storage or whatever. It just doesn't sit where you want it to sit. You can use a product called binding wire, which is kind of like floral wire that's colored. So I am going to use this brown binding wire. I'm going to cut a small piece of this off, because I want my greenery to stay where I want it to stay. So I'm going to give it some assistance through binding wire. So like I said, it's just like floral wire, but it's colored the same color as our grapevine. So I have one side here. I'm going to go around and add this to the other side. It's just kind of going more horizontally. And I'm going to pull that down nice and tight, just like so. So now I can keep that in that position that I like, so that we can continue. Okay. We're going to do the same at the top. Just always make sure you take a little bit extra time and get all of your leaves facing in the same direction. We're going to slide this one up at the top. just like so. We are going to grab another one of our greeneries. We're going to tuck this one a little closer to our bow. And I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to add a small touch of our binding wire. And I'm going to lock this in place where I want it to stay. There's that one. Okay, hang on a second. We got it. Nice and tight. Couple twists. And we are set. Okay, so now we are adding our greenery. I want to add just a little bit more here. So I do have a little piece of this. I'm going to cut this down. You don't want to grab the whole piece, just the ends. And I want to add in here a little piece in here. Because remember I said I want to extend this section all the way to our leaf. Right in here. So guess what I'm going to be adding again? Right. Some binding wire. Right in here. Go. We just got to get it through the first couple big branches, and then it just comes right out the bottom. Same thing. Get it past the big branches. Where did we lose that? Let me grab my most famous tool, the butter knife, because this just makes it so much easier to go right alongside my knife. Trying to get to the very bottom. There we go. There we go. All right. Binding wire in place yet again. This also helps it in the event that you have high winds, and we don't have to worry about the high wind issue. All right, let's go back in and start backfilling a little bit more. I'm going to add some more greenery, big greenery. I always love to start with greenery. And we're going to add this to the outside of our wreath so that it extends beyond just the top. Okay. And now we're going to come in and add a lot of this additional greenery. So this is, let's go ahead and cut that down. We don't need it quite so big. These are going to be our lemon blossoms right here. So I'm going to work backwards towards my bow, just adding in different colors, different textures of our greenery. Kind of move it wherever you feel like you need to move it. I'm going to use this piece. Is it this piece I like? Let's trim these down so they're not so long. I kind of like this one to kind of curl up towards our sign. Just like so. And we're going to do the same here. Again, just adding different greenery, different movement. The only thing about this greenery is that there is no wire to it. So right now it's kind of one-dimensional. It has a mind of its own. It'll go wherever we lay it, and then that's where it will stay. So I'm going to lay this one there for now. At the top, I'm just going to use this one that's already pre-formed, and we're going to lay this one up in here. And we're going to tuck this one way up into our grapevine. Just like so. Okay. We're going to come back in and add more. We don't want it to be one-dimensional. We want it to definitely move with the wreath. So I don't want you to lay everything flat. I want you to think outside, inside, sideways. So here's one to the side. Down. We're going to add this one to the inside in here. Okay, so see how it's filling slowly. Take your time. You could technically lay everything out first and then attempt to come back in and glue it all if you remember where you put everything. It's a little hard to do that. I find that if you just take a chance and put everything where you'd like, odds are it's going to turn out beautiful in the long run. Just making sure I'm kind of picking up my glue threads as we continue to work so that we don't have a big spider's web in the end. But it's going to happen if you have your glue skillet wherever you are dragging it from one area to another. It's going to have issues. Okay, we have some more of our greenery. I'm just again breaking it down from the original pick, making sure we use all of it because we want that greenery to be present. Just like so. We'll add, let's add another blossom over here. So we have 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. We'll add our little curlicue branches here. Let's get that off our sign. Making sure I don't drop anything. I've been known to drop, and then I find it afterwards. I'm like, oh, we need to put that in. Okay, so as you see, what we have now is just greenery around our design. Now, we're going to come in and add some of our florals, and then we're going to backfill with details. So I'm going to pick the largest of the lemons. I'm going to place those first. Then go down smaller, and then go down even smaller. So we are going to add our lemons, and I'm going to pick the biggest one, And I'm going to place that right here in the center. Makes sense. It's where the bulk of the greenery is, so it makes sense that that would technically be attached to our lemon. We're going to do the same here. And then we have 2 smaller lemons. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to place these a little bit out. This one's a little too long. So we're going to slide this one right on in here. So now we've added our lemons to our lemon wreath. Lemon/honey wreath, right? Okay. Now we're going to come in and we're going to add our floral. And the floral is nice enough that it's on these pretty big picks. So we don't have to subdivide our florals. We're just going to use these as they are. So I'm going to tuck this one in. Right in here. And I'm trying really hard not to smash. I'm going to grab another one here. We're going to go a little bit further back. Tuck this one in around our lemon. I love blue and yellow together. We're going to take this one. This is going to get tucked up on our top, right in here, with a little bit of greenery. And now we'll come in. Let's see. I was looking for something similar to what we had with the darker blue. It looks like it's right up here. And I'm going to be using this entire pick. We're going to slide this one in a little closer to our bow. So we're bringing the color of the blue into our design. Okay, let's take a little bit lighter. We're going to go down in here, just like that. Trying to grab all of our glue threads. We'll tuck that in here. Now we got to go back up to the top and work on the top. Okay, so we're going to add some right to our outside. That one's really pretty. It's got a little bit of a turquoise to it. Kind of don't like how far out the leaf is from that, so I'm going to separate and then I'll add the leaf in a little bit later. Just trying to find how we can add and redistribute some of that floral. And then the last one, we're going to tuck this one into the outside. Let's kind of go right in here to the outside. And then let's use that lemon or the floral leaf. We'll tuck this to the outside. There we go. Just like that. So now this is where we're at. Okay, we're still building, still going. Okay, now we're going to come in and we're going to add some of our filler, which is a white baby's breath. Let me remove all my glue threads. So our baby's breath, is, ooh, we have a couple more of these as well. So we'll make sure we incorporate these. We'll add those at the very end. This baby's breath is also from the Greenery Market. So I am doing the same thing. We're taking and trimming it down. And now we're going to use this to fill around our floral. Just where we want it to go. So I like adding just little sprigs of white all along our decor. And these are what we call fillers, because that's exactly what they're doing. They are filling the space all the way around our design. And I'm kind of pairing these right up next to the blues. But again, doing what I'm coaching you to do, which is go all the way around the outsides. Okay, this one just does not want to sit where I'm going to place him. So I will tuck this one in right alongside our ribbon. Okay, so now we've added our baby's breath up on the top. Now let's go ahead and stretch some of it down to the bottom. Okay, so let's pull this around and down. And then we are trimming. We're going to tuck some of this in right about there. I'm going to use some of this greenery that we have left over to kind of accent that baby's breath I just placed in there, just like so. And we're going to tuck another one in down here. Love to have lots and lots of movement. Okay, let's go ahead and start working on our inside pieces. There we go. Okay. What do you guys think so far? We want to definitely make sure we're coming back up around the bow area and filling in all the gaps, but we don't have to fill in every single gap. We can let some of that greenery just create the movement we want in our design. So as you see, I'm just bringing some of those sprigs up. We'll add a couple more to the bottom, down here. It definitely feels very fresh and summery, or even very spring-like. Okay. point. Let's add a couple more pieces at the top. Right here by our bow. And we'll add a couple pieces to the inside. Stick down in here. Last piece. Let's go right up in here. All right, that'll take care of our baby's breath. There's tons of other things you can do. You can add, I kind of like these. What are they called? They start with an A. Astrolib? Something along those lines. I am probably seriously butchering how that is pronounced. But they have these little pieces that are on this little branch. I think I had this left over from the Dollar Tree. So I keep everything. So even if you just have one pick of it left, it just might be that that's all you need. So we'll tuck that in. What you're hearing is just the wire at the bottom that we haven't trimmed off, but we will. Okay. Oops. I love the detail work. It's like my favorite part is at the very, very end where you get to add, I guess it would just be finishing touches, right? Little bits of whimsy and details that you don't normally see. I don't want to add those. Let me look. I love Queen Anne's lace. You guys know that that's kind of my go-to. So I'm going to cut a couple of these off. But I like them my way. I don't like how they're kind of put together in their big old branches. I like them where I can put them, the little ones and twos. Where I want them to stay. So I'm just being really picky about the ones I use. Kind of tucking them in between some of the blues. I've got let's do the same thing. Trim them all down, and don't be afraid to just do your own little finishing touches wherever you want those to be. Feel free. Put one right in there. And I know it probably doesn't seem like a lot, but they make all the difference in the world. looking for some other greenery I want to use. Let's go around and then back up. Let's add some of our Queen Anne's lace up at the top. Just little sprigs here and there. And we're going to add a couple more little things. Okay, let us add our final embellishments to this wreath, which are going to be a couple little bees, which I got from Hobby Lobby. So we're going to add a couple little bees here to our design. So you can buy them in the little packages like this with little feather wings. And I think we'll try and see if we can elevate a couple, but I'd prefer them to be kind of sitting among the flowers. Like there. Let's turn that around. Dollar Tree scissors for the win. Let's do one more little bee. So I'm using the wire that they are on just to kind of give them a little bit of movement. Just like so. And I think we need, so let's grab a butterfly. Let's see, do we have a yellow one? I know I have a blue one. Not orange. We have a little monarch. Let's see. What else do we have in here? Anything that would match? Ooh, let's use the blue one. Like this one's perfect. And I also have this blue butterfly. I think I'm liking this one. So let's put our butterfly right in here. That's where our butterfly will go. Trying to get the glue off its little feathers. But the blue one is really pretty too. He's just a little too blue. So we'll just leave those ones there. We'll just do one butterfly. And then we did some bees. So let me flip this around so you can see what it looks like. Let's freshen up our bow. So we've got some beautiful tails. And I'm going to hold that up for you. What do you think? There we go. Trying to push it all the way up so you can see it. And I'm going to show you what it looks like on our door. So I'm going to go ahead and pivot and tilt you up. So hang tight. I think we're there. Nope, we need to go a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to remove our Easter one. And I'm going to put this right here, and we're going to add our spring grapevine. Just like that. And it looks amazing. I love, this is what I call French country colors. It's when you have your blues, your yellows all together. Let me zoom in on that so you guys can see the wreath. So that is our finished design today. What do you guys think? Well, I hope you guys liked this tutorial. I'm keeping my fingers crossed I can get our live all situated, but I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you for those of you that joined me in this, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now, everyone.